Welcome back to Sports Cards once again. Now, everyone knows that certain NBA players like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Shaq, Luka Doncic more recently, and others have a lot of basketball cards highly sought by basketball card collectors. But just like there are certain players often sought by collectors, there's also certain iconic sets of cards that are very highly valued by a lot of basketball card collectors. In this video, we'll be looking at a few base sets, not inserts, that are in this category. In our next video, we'll be looking at insert sets that are desired by many collectors. Now, to start off this video, we'll first look at what is probably considered the most iconic set of all time, the 1986-87 Fleer set. Now, of course, the highlight of this set is the iconic Michael Jordan rookie card. It stands alone as the most iconic of all iconic basketball cards that have ever existed, really. But this set is important in basketball card history for much more than just this one card. The whole set has a story to tell. In the early 1980s, basketball just really wasn't that popular in the US, and as a result, the basketball card market was really nothing much. But along comes the 1984 draft class. Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, John Stockton, Sam Bowie. And along with this draft class comes a surge of interest in the NBA as a whole. And though this 1986-87 Fleer set only had minor popularity when it first came out, over time, it has become the set that really begins to showcase the potential for what basketball cards could be. And from there on forward, basketball cards became a huge hobby, especially for young kids from there on forward. And although the hobby has seen peaks and valleys in interest over the decades since then, it has become much more as a mainstay at a general level ever since right about the time of that 1984 Fleer set. Number 2. While the 1986 Fleer set might be the most iconic, the 1984-85 Star set also holds for itself a very important chapter in the history of basketball cards. While most consider Jordan's 1986 Fleer to be his rookie card, the 1984 Star Series card is where you will actually find his very first ever printed, officially licensed basketball card, 2 full years prior to his Fleer card, as well as that of other great rookies and veteran players who played this year. Star is a brand that didn't have a long footprint in the basketball card industry, but in 1984-85, they were the only officially licensed producer of NBA cards. The original Jordan rookie card, as well as that of Barkley and Olajuwon, came out 2 years prior to the card that most now consider to be their true rookie cards in 1986 with Fleer. And the John Stockton rookie card here came out a full 4 years before his Fleer version came out. And you have a set that may not be that well known compared to many, but that holds a really important place in history. I personally really don't understand why it's not valued higher in the minds of most collectors than it is. I really honestly think it should be. Number 3, 1980-81 Topps. Now, if it wasn't for the fact that 1980 was the rookie season of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, I don't think this set would be nearly as iconic in the basketball card story as it currently is. The set was produced at a time when basketball and basketball cards weren't particularly popular, and the set, rather than consisting of 1 player per basketball card, actually was designed with 3 players per card that could be separated along a terrible edge to make each card into 3 small cards. Now, unfortunately, that is what a whole lot of collectors, especially kids, did with these cards. So nowadays, it's much more common to find a separated, like 1/3 of a card selling from 1 player, while those that did remain intact are more valuable. The most well-known single tri-card is definitely the one that includes Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Julius Erving. But due to this set's uniqueness and important names, it has become a very collectible set sought after by many collectors. Number 4. Thus far into the video, we've only been going back in time. Let's start moving forward instead, to the 1991-92 Upper Deck series. And we'll also mention, as well as the base cards, we'll look briefly at the award winner hologram insert from this series as well. The rest of our inserts are going to be in the next video, but I thought this deserved at least a small mention. At first glance, it may be hard to identify why this particular set stands out in the annals of basketball card history. I mean, it was on the earlier end of the junk wax era, but it was still right there in the midst of that era of overproduction. But nowadays, this is considered a landmark set by many collectors. It was Upper Deck's first foray into the basketball card game, and many perceived that they set a very high standard for production quality that really upped the ante for all the sports card makers that came afterwards. In addition, while this set wasn't the first time insert sets were introduced, the award winner's hologram set was an insert set that was and still is very iconic. It was a fully holographic image that really paved the way for a lot of other card designers to experiment with new and innovative approaches. Number 5. 1993-94 Topps Finest. Anyone who collected basketball cards in the mid-1990s certainly has some sort of feeling or story to tell about the Topps Finest series. Prior to the release of the 1993-94 Finest set, basketball cards were mostly in what would be considered the budget range. Packs could be bought with a kid's weekly allowance, and then along came Finest, which are now considered to be the first of what has become a long line of premium cards that are not likely to be affordable to the average preteen. Nowadays, premium cards are almost the norm, and basketball card collecting has become a very expensive hobby to initially get into. But Finest was the first in this premium era. The refractor parallels are also among some of the very most valuable 1990s cards on the market today. I know for myself, as much as I loved collecting basketball cards in the mid-90s, I only ever bought a pack of these cards maybe once or twice with my paper route income because they were like 5 to 8 times more expensive than most of the more budget options. Number 6. 1996-97 Topps Chrome. Topps Chrome first entered the basketball card scene in 1996, and it quickly became the highest grossing card series for the entire decade. The Topps Chrome series continued to be very popular for many years after its initial release, and it is a very collectible set today as well. The fact that the emergence of Topps Chrome also happens to coincide with the rookie year of Kobe Bryant certainly also did not hurt its legacy. In fact, the Topps Chrome rookie of Kobe Bryant is considered by many to be the Kobe Bryant rookie, despite the fact that dozens of different rookie cards of his do exist. The Chrome is definitely the most sought by serious collectors, and the refractor parallel is the most valuable of them all. Number 7, the 2008-2009 Topps Chrome series. Now, the 2008-9 Topps Chrome, and to a lesser degree the less expensive Topps Base, is another very iconic set in the history of sports cards. A few specific cards do stand out from the crowd, such as the Kobe Bryant card, where he is being guarded by LeBron James, which sells ungraded for upwards of $500 or so. But beyond any one specific card, the set itself is just really loved by many collectors. The artistic design of the set is nothing too over the top, but it is unique and appreciated by those who love a good-looking card. The refractor parallels to the base set are, as per usual, the most valuable of the bunch, but even the non-refractor base cards of this set are highly sought. I mean, how many relatively common sets that are only from like 13 years ago have regular normal base cards going for like $500 a pop? Not many. Number 8, 2012-2013 Panini Prism. Now, the 2012 season was the first year of production for both Panini Prism and Panini Select, so for both of them, this was an important year. But for this video, we'll talk specifically about Prism. There are a few things about the Prism set that made it very iconic for collectors today. First, due to the NBA lockout the previous year, the rookie class from this set actually consists of rookies from both the 2011 and 2012 rookie class, which includes some great names like Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, Bradley Beal, and Kawhi Leonard. Plus, this was the year in which a number of old retired NBA players made their way into the basketball card set as a normal part of the base set again. For those who can't afford a classic Wilt Chamberlain card or can't get their hands on a 1970s Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, this offered collectors a way to connect with the all-time greats. It has been suggested by some card collectors that long into the future, this 2012-13 Prism series may be the card set that collectors come back to again and again when wanting cards from some of these Hall of Famers who were around before basketball cards were really much of a thing. Additionally, these Prism cards, though they were certainly not the first to make parallels, were the ones to really make color parallels the thing like they are today. Well, in more recent years, this trend has exploded to an objectively ridiculous level, where it is nearly impossible to keep track of all the color parallel variations that exist, or which ones are valuable and which ones aren't. In the original Prism series here, these color parallels were much more streamlined, manageable, and made for trends like collecting the rainbow of colors for a favorite player both attainable and enjoyable, instead of what it is today, impossible and annoying. With that being said, that's all I have for you today. Please subscribe so you don't miss the next video, in which we will expand this conversation to include a number of insert sets that are highly sought after by many collectors.